Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy Strider TCG. I got another deck profile I wanted to show off to you guys. Is a Bojack deck profile from BT25 from Dragon Ball Super Card Game Masters. It's been a minute since I've been doing the deck here profile on that. So let's talk about this deck. Let's have some fun. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So the leader, when this card attacks, draw one, active main, place one of your green Bojack Brigade cards from your hand faced up in your Z deck. You get to search top 5, looking for one green Bojack Brigade card, then you have to add it to your hand, so it has that draw power to it. Then awaken for life or less, or if you had 2 faced up Bojack Brigade cards in your Z deck, you get to draw one, untap one of your energies until you have 6 left. So that's really, really good. And then the back side of it is once per turn. When you have green, when your green Bojack Brigade card is played, you get to draw one. So there are Bojack Brigade cards in this deck that whenever you play it, you draw a card. So it actually has draw power to it, so you're going to draw 2 cards per turn as long as you're using that particular card, and we'll talk about that pretty soon. Auto once per turn, place up to 3 of your faced up Bojack Brigade cards in your Z deck in your drop. When this card attached, you switch this card to active mode. It gets a 10k power for the battle. 10k power for the battle, so you're looking at 25k. Active battle once per turn. If it's your opponent's turn, and you KO one of your green Bojack Brigade cards, this card gets a 10k power for the battle. So it has offense and defense. The second skill, I think, is probably the most important skill of this leader. That's just me. You're looking at you have a conditional dual attack to it. So you swing for the first strike, and then you get to switch back to active mode. And for the second strike, you're swinging at it with 25k. That's very, very, very defensive. I mean, not defensive, but very offensive. Putting pressure onto the board. As long as you use it to your advantage, I would use that second skill. This second auto once per turn skill, I would use it to go for game. That's just me. Then the third skill, active battle, and it's only once per turn. Very good defensive technique. Very, very good defensive technique. You can use that to your advantage to take advantage of, living more in the game, being able to live, right? It keeps you, that skill is going to keep you alive. It's going to give you that longevity that you need. And you know what, when I think about it, we'll do a little bit of brainstorming on this deck profile too, because there's a skill that allows you to rejuvenate, and there's a green unison that allows you to regenerate. That would probably be pretty good with this leader. We'll look into that. But anyway, let's talk about the battle cards. So we have Zunya, bring your chaos. You draw it, play one. Essentially, this is the card I was talking about. When you're flipped over, backside, you play this card, you draw on one, and then you're going to draw another one because the leader skill, that's really great. Then the auto limited of 1. When this card's KO, one of your green Bojack cards with the energy cost at 8 gets a critical for the turn. So it's really good. Another Zunya, pretty much, this is a searcher. Top 5, and you're looking for something that's 4 left, and you get to shuffle your deck. And also, this gives one of your green Bojack Brigade cards, 8 cost critical as well. We have another Zunya. It's this Inno Cruelty that you play it. This one does the same thing as the other ones I've showed, but this one also says that when it's KO, one of your opponent's battle cards in unison can't attack for the turn. Okay. And then we have Bujin, the bringer of chaos. Negate the attack and get to play this card. Okay. So negate the attack, you can play this card. This is permanent. If you have 3 or more faced up Bojack Brigade cards in your Z deck, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding 1 card from your life to your hand instead. So this one is there to help self awaken. In case you can't really depend on your active main skill for the Bojack Brigade on the flip side. But when I think about it, this card can probably be removed from the deck when I think about it, and I think I'm going to do that. This is just my first rush draft for it. Again, you can design this deck the way you want to be, but I'm just showing off what I have in it from right now, and we will do a little bit brainstorming towards the end of the video. So that's that. And then we have another Bujin. This one's a counterplay. You're playing that one at 3. Something that's 2 or less goes in the drop instead, and also has the same similar permanent effect. Okay. And then we have our super combo Beto Bringer Chaos. It works very similar to the Great Saiyamon. Taking 1 card from your hand, put it at the bottom of your deck, you're drawing 2. So this is really, really good. You want this one in your deck anyway. You really want that card. Okay. And then we have our Gokwa. This one, whenever you attack, using 1 green card with 5k power from your drop with its steals negated. And also, you can use this with 1 energy with the active main, limited 1. If you have 2 or more faced up Bojack Brigade cards in your Z deck, you're going to draw a card when you play this card from your hand. So that's really good as well. It's very, very good. So it has that draw power. You're playing this at 2. I would say you probably may want to play this at 3 instead of 2. I'm playing it at 2. Probably 3 would probably be a good number. Pretty good number, and probably reducing this one down, but we'll see. So all the cards I showed you, from the 1 to 3 drops, you're not typically going to do much with them. You're not going to, much damage with them. Yeah, you're not going to do much damage with them. Maybe the Gokwa you may, but all the other cards you won't. So Bojack Comrade Composition. This one has blocker. It has active main, limited 1, green. If your leader is a green Bojack Brigade card and your opponent has 2 or more energies, you get to play this card from your hand. Okay, so it's really cool stuff. Okay, active main once per turn. When this card is KO'd, KO one of your green Bojack Brigade cards. Other than this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, and then get to switch to active mode until the end of the turn. So that's this card right here. This is what you're gonna really do to get some damage in. It has blocker on it, so it's really good. Also, you get to play it. It says if your opponent has 2 or more energy, you're playing this card from your hand. And then while you're playing it, you just need to KO one of your other cards to KO one of your opponent's cards. And then at the end of your turn, this one gets a switch to active mode, so allowing you to use it as a blocker. This card is really, really good. It's very good. It's very good. So you're playing that at 3. I should play that at 4. I should play it at 4, but you get 3. Another Bojack Bringer Chaos. Again, it has a similar effect as the other active main. But your opponent has 2 or more energies. You're playing this by turn 2. And then once you another active main says once per turn, choose up to one of your green Bojack Brigade cards. Other than this card, you get to KO it, and then you get to switch this card to active mode, and it gets a critical for the turn. So it gets to swing twice. This has a conditional dual attack to it. You're playing this at 3. This is the cards you're going to be going in to get some damage in. Those 2 mainly that you're going to be doing. And then let's look at the 8 drops and everything else. Actually, let's look at some of the staples. Some of the staples. Frieza, charismatic villain. You guys should already know what it is. This card's still good. It's limited to 1. It used to be more than that. It's limited to 1, so it kind of died out a bit, but it's still really, really good no matter what. If you guys notice, you don't have a unison as in a normal unison. You have a Z unison that you take advantage of, but you still will be able to take advantage of that effect, of that effect for sure. And once it's played, you pop at something that's 7 or less. So that's really good. We have King Piccolo Aerial Battle. This is a promo card here. How old it really is hard to say, but this one's really, really good. Unique, critical. You get to negate the attack, play this card from your hand, and it says if your leader is a green non-Saiyan card, which it is, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each non-green Saiyan battle cards among all cards in your Z deck and drop area. Sorry about that. So essentially, you can almost play this card for free, so it's actually really good. And once it's played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards. The energy cost of 5 or less. You get to KO it. You get to KO it, then choose up to one of your opponent's markers, one of your opponent's unisons, and remove a marker from it. Okay. Okay, and then we have Dormant Potential Unleash. We already know what this one is. You guys already know what it is. You should know that. Same thing with these Goku Kamehameha Deflection. You should know what that is. Another good staple. And Homicidal Clothes. These are all staples here for typically green decks. And some other staples here as well. Another green. This is a win condition for green. I don't want to talk about it, but it's somewhat kind of relatively old. If you don't have this card, you need it. It's a very, very good card for green. Deflect, double strike when it attacks. Again, I don't even want to just read it right there. If you guys can see it, you can read it. You know how good this card is. This card is very, very good. This is going to be this is a solid win condition for this deck, for this particular card. This is a solid win condition. Very, very solid. But let's talk about some of the other, Bojack cards here that you can use for win conditions. So this is the 8-drop Bojack, Unleashed, Space Pirate, Double Strike. It says when this card would be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skill once per turn, you may place up to one. Face up Bojack Brigade card from your Z deck into your drop area instead. Okay, so it's not too bad. Okay, and then if this card is in rest mode, when your opponent's card, one of your opponent's cards, and other than their leader card attacks, your opponent discards one card from their hand. Oh my goodness! So that's how strong that. I think this card is pretty strong. It's good for this archetype. That's just me. But then there's that active main skill allowing you to play in a lot sooner. You just play 2 energies. If your leader's Bojack Brigade and your opponent has 3 or more energy, you're gonna play it. You're gonna draw this card. You're gonna draw one, and you're gonna play this card from your hand. That's really, really good. Man, that's really, really good. If this card is in rest mode and your opponent's, and when an opponent's card other than their leader attacks and your opponent discards one card from your hand, so that's actually really good. And they're gonna keep doing that every time too. So it has hand destruction to it. That strong hand destruction. It has strong hand destruction. That's just, you can't even knock it, man. You can't knock that. It's just when your opponent's cards other than their leader attacks, so their battle cards, unisons, guys, they're discarding a card. That slows down your opponent. Really, it slows them down, keeping them from doing what they need to do. So that's a very good card. Very, very good card. And the other Bojack Tournament Assault, place any number of face-up Bojack Brigade cards from your Z deck in your drop. When this card attacks, you're going to choose up to one of your opponent's unisons and remove one marker from it. Remove one marker from it for each card you place in the drop with its skills. Additionally, if you place 2 or more cards from your Z deck in your drop with this skill, it gets a 5k power and it gets double strike for the turn. Ooh, so 35k double strike. That's real good. And that's not too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and read that one again. So when attached, choose up to one of your opponent's uses and remove one marker from it for each card you place in the drop with its skill. So basically, this is an anti-unison card. Very, very anti-unison. You're playing that at 3. This is a very, very good card. Good for this archetype. However, a lot of these cards don't have deflect on it, so they don't give them much of. If this card had deflect on it, it'll be a lot better. And it would probably cost more in value. Okay. Probably costs more in value. And then they had the active main skill. If your leader is a green Bojack Brigade and you have 4 or more energy, play this card from your hand. You get to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and gets a 5k. One of your opponent's battle cards and it gets one of your opponent's battle cards and you KO it. So that's pretty cool. So that's really, really good. Very, very good. Very, very good. Not too bad at all. And let's go ahead and talk about some cards. Another card that's new to the set is a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Omega Shenron. This is Clash of Ultimate Evil. Has energy exhaust, has blocker, successor 1. If you notice, guys, you have a lot of 8 drops in this deck, and you're going to take advantage of those 8 drops with this card right here. It's this auto limited 1 if your leader is green or yellow, and your opponent has 3 or more energies. When this card is played, you get to choose 2 of the effects. So one of them, you get your opponent discards 2 cards from their hand. This card gains double strike for the turn. Really good. The other one is your opponent chooses 2 cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier, and KO in it, and this card gets dual attack for the turn. This card right here is good. It's really, really good. Only bad thing about it doesn't have deflect on it. I'm always pushing it with that, but hey, it is what it is. So these dual companions or these Versus series cards that they came out with recently are pretty good. This card is very, very good. You're playing this at 2. Typically, I mean, you don't really, you're just going to take advantage of some of its effect conditionally whenever you need it. This right here is just, it's, oof. This card is good too. It's very, very good. It's just, you're playing this at 2. You don't want to play 40s in a deck. 2 is just fine. I say 2, maybe even 3 would be fine. But 2 is very, very good for this particular deck. Very, very good. And then we're playing a secret rare with this deck. We're playing a Super Shenron Wish Granting Dragon. This one has ultimate, deflect, it can't attack, and you can reduce it for each card in your Z energy or drop, reduce it by 1. And essentially, you may end up playing it for free as long as you got a lot. Active main, if your leader is green, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards or unison in active mode to gain control of it. Very, very good. Or you get to choose one of your battle cards and it gains indestructible for the game. And the other one, the last effect, you're not worry about it because you don't have any universe cards. You don't have any of those. So this card right here, I chose this one because nobody's playing with this card. This card is very cheap. Giving a card indestructible is actually pretty good. Because when it has indestructible, you got to realize that they can't they can't really destroy it only through, you know, destroying the DP of the card. So if they destroy the DP of the card, it dies completely. Okay. It dies completely. Like the top power of the card, then it dies completely. But this card right here, I haven't seen many people play it. Let me see. That's actually, I'm curious to see what the price is. Well, the pricing says $32. I've seen one at 20 something. I would buy this card. I would seriously buy it. I think it's pretty good. That's just me. And then you get to gain control of a card in the game. You can gain control of a secret rare if you wanted to. As long as they play their secret rare first, you can gain control of it with this. That's pretty good, guys. And it's once per turn. Active main once per turn. If to choose one of you can gain control of multiple cards. So this card right here is pretty good. Really, really good. Very, very good. People don't know how good it really is. So let's look at the Z deck. We have another Bojack assisting Brigade. This one, if you have a Bojack Brigade card in play, your opponent can't attack with this card. Your opponent can't attack this card. Okay, it says active main. You get to KO one of your mono green Bojack Brigade cards, and if you do, you draw 1. Ooh, pretty good. Not too bad. And this one has if your leader is green, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and no one bury KO. So this one is just board removal. This card is just a board removal card for this deck, for the Z deck. Very good for this archetype. You really want to take advantage of it. KOing your card is very good as well, and you draw it too. So there's draw power to it, board removal. And then your opponent can't even attack this card at that. That's just, oh man, this is really, really good. This is very good. It's a very good card. Then we have, Agent of Destruction Bojack. You need permanent if your leader is a Bojack Brigade card and you have a Z extra card in your battle area. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your Z deck by 1 green. Auto once per turn. I'm tripping. Well, this say auto once per turn. If you have 3 or more energies, one of your battle cards is removed from your battle area by a skill. You're going to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. A KO it. This card gets a double strike for the turn, which is actually pretty good. But I was reading that permanent skill. If your leader is a Bojack card, and if you have a Z extra card in your battle area, you get to reduce the energy cost in the card in your hand by 1 Z energy from your. Energy cost of this card in your Z deck by 1 green. It says choose auto once, auto choose one of your battle cards without unique and KO it. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's unisons and remove a marker from it. Okay. Yeah, when this card is, so you can reduce the cost of this card here to play it. Choosing one of your opponent's battle cards in, well, one of your cards with unique, you KO it. And this card, you choose one of your opponent's, when this card's played, choose up to one of your opponent's unisons and remove a marker from it. That's pretty cool. Remove 2 markers from it, not 1 but 2. So that's the anti-unisons. Green has been anti-unisons, man. It's always been a way. Then you gaining double strike on it. So this card is really good for the deck too. You're playing this at maybe, I think, 2. So, and here's a typical card. You guys already know what this one is. This is a very good card for green, for Z battle card to play. Deflect, double strike, really good stuff. I'm not going to talk too much about it. When you play it, you popping something that's 5 or less. So really good. No, this is an old card as well. You guys should already know what this one is too. From the special anniversary box, EX23. Get to take advantage of some stuff. I'm not going to talk too much about this. This is just a staple that you guys should play. Now, this one's a newer card. It says time for the slaughter to begin. If your leader is a green Bojack Brigade card and Bojack Brigade card, and when your green Bojack Brigade card is KO'd by one of your skills, you may place that card from your drop faced up in your Z deck. It says active main once per turn. If your leader is a green Bojack Brigade card, you get to play up to one of your green Bojack Brigade cards with the energy cost of 1 from your hand in rest mode. It says active main. Remove this card from the game. You get to play 1 green Bojack Brigade card, which energy cost of 1 from your deck in rest mode. So not too bad. This is definitely something you want to play with this leader as well. This one just gives you the ammo that you need. You may want to play more of these in the deck. I'm playing this at 1. I probably would play more of those in the deck when I think about it. More of those in the deck. Hack the main once per turn. If your leader is a green Bojack Brigade card, you get to play up to one of your green Bojack Brigade cards with the energy cost of 1 from your hand in rest mode. That's really good. Again, it's really, really good. It's good. Remove this card from the battle. Play 1. Oh, yeah. So it's not bad. So you get the summon cards, but also just gives you the ammo that you need to play cards faced up in your Z deck, and that allows you to activate your skills. So you probably may play more of these in your Z deck. You probably should play more of them there. I would do that. I'm playing this at 1, but I would say 3, probably 2. I should take this out and play this at 2. Don't get me wrong, this card is good, but I think this is worth it. That's just me. So the sideboard, you guys already know what it is. Sun Gohan, Latent Power Unleashed. That's really good. As you can play for a sideboard. This card is very good as well. Majin Buu Unadulterated Malice is a really good card too as well. Slowing down your opponent. This is a good card to play. We have Kyosukai Mechanical Courage, another good card to play too as well. Very cheap, very viable for the deck. We have Kakunsa, Kakunsa Beastly Maiden. This is a really good card too as well to play. And then once you're playing it, you get to pop something. So that's really, really good. And you reduce it by 2 as long as your leader is a green leader. So that's really good. And then we have Cooler Effortless Strike. This is a very strong card. People don't play it that much, but it's a really good, strong card. When this card is played, if the battle card being played has an energy cost of 4 or less, it is placed in its owner's drop area instead of being played. Okay, so that's really good. I don't want to talk too much about it, but when it is played, this card is good. It's a good counterplay card. Very, very good counterplay card, and potentially can play it at a very reduced cost as well because of that permanent effect. Really good card. Okay, and then we have Heavenly Wizard Demigra. You're playing this one during your turn when you combo with this card. if your opponent has 3 or less energies, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and then better get 30k power or more and KO it. And this is big armor. Yeah, this one's pretty good. Another staple you can use here. It says if your leader's green, your opponent can't attack with battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or more until the start of the next phase. This could be useful. Could be pretty useful. Now, that's pretty much it. That's my deck profile here with this, guys. Here, as I did say before, I was going to do some, exploring here with it. Maybe another time. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want you to comment, rate, subscribe, and peace.